Okay, you're going to talk about the swing now and how to create a really solid swing. It's one of the fundamental movements with kettlebells. It's got a ballistic element, but there are a lot of things attached to this that need to be talked about. You'll see a lot of people want to butcher the swing. It's a shame because it's a very fantastic exercise for the full body. What you'll usually see is something along the lines of this, where the back goes and there's all this movement of energy around the place. The whole point of the swing is to actually have a moving deadlift. So first of all, there's got to be a hip hinge. Then there's got to be stability through the body to transfer the force, a bit like a trebuchet or a catapult, to lock out and float the bell on top. It's both a bit of an art and a science with the swing. So to do this, a couple of elements. Having a good athletic stance in the beginning, the deadlift. Having a tight core and lats, but also allowing the bell to float at the right position. To start with, practice getting the deadlift correct. The weight starts in the midline of the feet. Point the fingers down. As you point the fingers down, imagine squeezing lemons with your lats. You'll notice how the chest comes through, tall position, brace the core, and then what we do is we drive the hips back to get that athletic position. Okay? Another way of getting into this position is to imagine you're going to jump over a river. That will be the quick stance you're going to take. Be 3, 2, 1, and you're going to jump. And you'll notice that stance is all being driven by the hips. This is why this exercise is so useful. It drives that same pattern. So then we're going to push, hips back, grab the bell, eyes are forwards. Okay, shoulders anti-shrug, shoulders away from ears. We should feel our abs and lats tight. Then before we lift, inhale, pushing through the floor with the feet. The deadlift should be solid. It's also a great way to warm up. So start with your deadlifts. Get the glute activation, true hip extension at the top. We're not looking for hyperextension at all. If this is going this way, something has to go that way, which means everything's out of position, so it's going to hurt. You need to finish at the top, ramrod straight as it's called. To further add to this, we're then going to be having the swing position. So we're basically a standing plank at the top, but now the arms are extended. So that gives you the idea of the kind of tension work that we've got going. You can now layer this up. If you have problems, you can actually start with something like a goblet clean. So from your deadlift position, you can just use the snap of the hips to the chest. So this starts adding that pop through the hips, gets you used to the timing. Then we layer this up. And each one of these exercises just do for 5 to 10 reps until you get the rhythm and it feels good. Okay, then you can start to add a swing up to here. Okay, so now we're at goblet clean, but with the hike back. Then we can start to do a T-Rex swing. So this is where the arms stay really tight at the top. We look like a little dinosaur, okay? So this way you get a close rhythm without going too far away. Load the hamstrings and glutes, pull. It's going up. And I'm locking. Like the clean was. You can rest. Shake it out, because the next element is having the weights further and further away from you until you can maintain the arc of the swing. So then, when you next do it, deadlift position, eyes forward, loading our athletic position, fire. That's how you can start to layer up and construct your swing to a much better standard. Other key points. As you come down, the mid forearm to mid thigh is roughly where you come down to. You don't have to fold further forwards because we're using the hips. Okay, so aim for that kind of position. We come up, there's the power of the hips, and then the bell, we want it to float at that top momentarily. That's when you know you're getting that excellent hip power coming through. Eyes forwards as you're doing this. If you're looking low, wherever the eyes go, the head goes, body follows. If you're looking down when you swing, you'll start adding the curves in. So that's another thing to layer up. Next thing, breathing. You might have noticed a lot of noises that I make. Inhale, and then exhale during the movement as you rise. The sharp exhale at the same time will give you the tension throughout the whole body as you make the lift. And you'll start to notice how your swing will have more velocity, more stability, and it'll start to look more smooth. Now from there are more things we can layer up and add on, but it's important that you work towards that foundation of the swing. Practice each exercise for 5 reps, build back up through these progressions, practice the final one, film yourself. Feel free to send over a copy. I'm happy to have a look at technique and see what else we can fix with your individual swings.